What's up, world? What's up, Zion? It's Prince Easy coming at you again, once more, as usual. I do have a couple slides that I want to share with you in this fine day that we're having here. And of course, before we get to the slides, I want to issue a copyright disclaimer, right? And fair use disclaimer, right? For the material that's going to be shared here in this here post, right? So yeah, let's dive into it, right? So the sun apparently had something to say. Yes, of course, we have been over this, right? And all of this is, of course, as usual, what's the point of proxies? To avoid a direct confrontation. Why? Because direct confrontation has, let's say, they don't want to put skin in the game. I don't know what to. Okay? As long as they don't have skin in the game, they're going to continue to be adventurous or, I don't know, exploratorial, for lack of better words, right? So yeah, you can look up the video. The brother shows you some things that have been found. Okay, and they're gonna say, oh, we are doing this because we say that we are gonna fight the Russians wherever the Russians are. You know? Well, this scandal popped out of nowhere over the recent days, and of course, we cannot have leverage or power of any kind, right? They have gate-caped, I don't know, everything you can think of, right? And this woman here being the reason is an oversimplification, right? These two people were influential and powerful, right? And they had something to say, right? I remember seeing one of their skits about United States and oil and foreign interventions, right? Right? You can just go in there, right? Kill and peel oil, right? So the nerve of this guy, right? I think Fakari here did a good job, right? I don't need even to say anything more, really, because it is embarrassing, to say the least. Wow. Can this AI give us a digest of the Epstein files and find, say, child exploitation and predators and stuff? Hey, Mr. FBI Director? So, these people, call them the Masons, Illuminati, whatever. This is what they believe and this is what they worship, right? The Phoenician hearts, construction, angels with tongues of light, tongues of fire on top of their heads, and stars and stuff. This is just more of Artemis Apollo shenanigans, right? Artemis Apollo, two sides of the same coin. How do they gain power? Well, it's in their arrows, right? In this case, flying arrows. They both coincidentally, which I don't think is not, they bring disease and also the cure. So you figure, right? And of course, Apollo and Artemis are known hunters, no pun intended. And of course, we have the Reaper, which is more of a Christian iconography, as in people who have faith and are willing to do the work. Those are called reapers, as in they reap the world, what has been planted, right? It's time to sow. Everyone, right? Gathered up in bundles. Some go into stock, while others end up getting burned, right? So reapers are going to be sent, angels and stuff, right? The same thing, same language, fish of men, reaping the world, knowing full well that there are people in here that are producing fruits of death, right? For lack of better words. So, since 1933, you can do your own reading. I'm just gonna go fly through these slides here, right? Since 1933. And I don't know, this document shows a lot, tells a lot about how they have rigged the system, so to speak, right? Your rights can be suspended. Why? Rebellion, invasion, public safety. Okay? So, the lockdowns, part of that, right? And that emergency has not been lifted, right? The so-called health emergency. And the whole world is running under this software here, believe it or not, right? Even the South Korean guy, right? With the martial law and stuff, right? So again, this document here was presented by, I don't know, agricultural guys and stuff, right? You can look it up yourself, right? But I just want people to read so as they can see things for what they are. Right? So that's why we are seeing the President and the Treasury Secretary being very busy. Besant is it, right? Being very busy. Exercising their powers. 4th March 1933. Roosevelt. The one that, I don't know, kept the dice rolling, so to speak. Who cast the dice. I was very intrigued by why did they come up with this argument a few weeks back, you know, powers and Congress, and well, that's their new model operandi, and they have different names for it everywhere. The produce of the soil of the hostile territory, as well as property engaged in the commerce of the hostile powers, or power, as the source of its wealth and strength, are always regarded as legitimate prize without regard to the domicile or the owner. I don't know who comes up with this nonsense here. In general, during war, contracts with or powers of attorney or agency from the enemy executed after outbreak of war are illegal and void. Licenses and all of these permissions that people keep complaining about, well, they fall under the same, I don't know what to call it, excuse. One of the most important features of the bill is that which provides for the temporary taking over of the. There will be a lot of returning if this ceases. That's why it is vague, right? A time of crisis and a times of war, they manufacture crisis and they wage war, hence keeping people in the state, perpetual state of emergency, again and again and again and again and again. And they understand, but it is necessary always to bear in mind that a war cannot be carried out without hurting people. Even at times, our own citizens. The public good, however, must prevail over private gain. Bishop Jones. Well, you can do whatever you want with that, right? But the consequences of this infringement are seen and expressed by the younger generation in their, I don't know if it's the right word, right? This nihilistic view, right? I'm gonna make a specific video pertaining to what you're seeing here on the screen, but this is a genuine concern, right? And it is everywhere, right? It is here in Africa, it is here in my country, it is abroad. I see it over and over. Well, as I said, I shall cycle back to this somewhere along the line. Hey, look at that. The birds that soar. Thermal soaring. Just flying between two vortices. Well, that's the end of the slides, as you can see. So yeah, as you can see in my short update here, right, as to the trajectory, right, people have given up. They don't want to participate, right? In some ways, it's a good thing, and in many ways, it's a bad thing, right? Because us leaving things in automatic mode led us to this predicament that we are having. That these so-called representatives of ours actually not, right? They sold us a lie. Why? So as they can suppress or deter or dismantle any form of resistance, right? This faith is what has kept things somewhat cordial. But now people are realizing that, wait a minute, these people do not work for me, nor do they care for my views and opinion, especially when it comes to important matters which pertain to life and death of myself and others. And again, like I said, this automatic mode, right? Safety, security, it's automatic, right? We have developed these systems over hundreds of years of interpersonal and international interactions. Certain behaviors have been adapted so as to reduce friction, but all of these things are eroded intentionally by the day. And the same way interpersonal relationships can be eroded by personal or individualism or capitalism, it's the same way the international situation is going to deteriorate. The same way. This individualistic mindset, not seeing the bigger picture, not understanding that no matter how powerful you are, no matter how large your population is, you are just a link in a chain. Or a cog in a machine, for that matter. Not a bigger cog, not a smaller cog, no. But your movement to the left or to the right has rippling effects across the world. But nah, people just tweet these days. And the whole market takes a dump. Anyway, I'm not gonna go on for so long. I'm gonna put a pin on it right there. And of course, we're gonna speak to each other, if you call this that, when we do. So yeah, Prince Easy signing out. Love you. Bye.